Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glassboro for December 26th, 2023 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2023, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board as well as the Borough website and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 7, 2023.
Thank you. Can we all rise and salute the flag, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Cossabone.
Present.
Mr. Fiola.
Here.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Melandro.
Here.
Mr. Scafidi.
Present.
Mr. Brunemer.
Here.
And let the record reflect that Mr. D'Alessandro and Mrs. Spence are excused for this evening.
Thank you. We have no presentations or proclamations this evening, so I will turn the meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have two public hearings. First is on ordinance number 23-31. That is an ordinance amending Chapter 445, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 50, Weight Limits, various streets of the Code Book of the Borough of Glassboro. Council moves for the public portion.
Move the public portion be open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I move the public portion be closed and the ordinance adopted as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cossabone.
Yes.
Mr. Fiola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
4.
Motion carries.
And next is ordinance 2332, ordinance to authorize execution of a lease agreement between the Borough of Glassboro and Glassboro A4 Main Street Urban Renewal LLC for property known as 101 Rowan Boulevard, Building A4. Again, if council moves for the public portion.
Motion to approve public portion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address this proposed ordinance. Hi.
Ronnie Feldman, a lot of you know me, a lot of you wish you didn't know me. I'm from 12 Devonshire Drive. I know this doesn't mean anything anymore because it's a done deal, but I really object to the library lease. It's being placed in a completely inappropriate and inaccessible location. You're gonna destroy the library. Many seniors and disabled people will no longer be able to use the facility. It's going to be very difficult for families with young children to use it. I have filed an ADA lawsuit with the Department of Justice. Not sure it will go anywhere because the ADA does not require you to provide parking. However, this is not a business, this is a community facility and it should be accessible. And I think moving the library into the university section is ridiculous since people from the university aren't going to use it. Kids don't use it. The library is mainly used by seniors and by people with young people with families. So you're really going to see usership decrease, and then of course you're going to say, we don't need a library because people aren't using it any longer. I won't be able to use it. I've spoken to a lot of people here. I know you're aware of the issues, but I think that you have a responsibility to find a way to provide accessible parking and free parking, and also make sure if the parking is going to be across Main Street, that there is a four-way stop there or something done so that people can safely cross the street, because somebody's going to get hurt, if not worse. That's all I have to say on it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy Michelson, 88 Meadows Drive in Glassboro. I was trying to look up this ordinance to find out what it's about. because every meeting I come to, you talk about how transparent you are, and I can't find any information, so I don't know, like, we can say stuff, but have you told the public anything about this?
Absolutely.
I'm at the point I don't know what questions to ask, because I don't know anything about this lease.
Oh, everything has been made public, the
I
whole
looked on the
process.
website and I couldn't find us.
It's been discussed ad nauseum at all of the most recent 4 council meetings, and it's been posted on our, posted in all of our agendas, and
I've been to the meetings, and people get up and say their concerns about the library, but you've never spelled out what your plan is, what the master plan is for the library. You've listened to people's concerns and nodded and said, we're transparent, but I don't know if you discuss it, behind in your private work session, but at the public session, there hasn't been too much discussion other than questions and concerns that people bring, but there hasn't been a lot of information coming from you to us.
we've given all the information that we have gotten from the county library system, and moving forward with this entire process from the very beginning, we have given to the public.
Where? I can't find it. I'm usually pretty good at
Yeah.
navigating the website.
And I've said repeatedly at these meetings I've been the administrator for the last 4 years.
Mhm.
We've proposed other solutions. We proposed the intermediate school. That was not good. This was brought to us, as I've mentioned, by the county, and we fully supported it. We did not seek this out. The lease itself, I think I could talk about this,
Yep,
solicitor.
yep.
It's a 5-year lease
Mhm.
in which the county is paying for the lease. So what you're seeing on the ordinance tonight, it's just it's a mechanism for us to pay the developer, the landlord. So the money's coming from the county to us, right to the landlord. It's for 5 years. We've looked at nausea, different options for it. To your point, in back room, we've had numerous discussions. It would cost to build, at one point, we were looking at a 10,000 square foot library. You're talking about $15 to $18 million. The information that I looked at, and I know when you look at library stats in both Gloucester County and the state of New Jersey, they've been in steady decline since 2009.
That's true if you look at book circulation.
No, it's
But-
both, it's both. It is.
Okay. So.
So this was, I'm sorry, so
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
was
Continue.
the best option for us who have to represent the whole community. If we would've went out and spent 15 to 18 million dollars, and we applied for a grant that we did spend $10,000 for a couple years ago, and were turned down for the grant. So we've researched this, and again, this opportunity was given to us by the county, whose library it is.
Right, yeah.
And
They had a commission meeting and
Correct.
they discussed that, they told
Right.
us that, but, yeah, they told us that.
Right.
I never heard it from
Right, but
you
that's
guys.
what the lease is, it's
Yeah.
5 years.
Right,
We will review it after 5 years, who's ever on council, whoever is the administrator, and then determine it at that point. As far as the handicap parking, Ms. Feldman, I've had several conversations with you. There will be handicap parking, one way or the other, on that side of the block, whether it's behind, whether it's in front. Well, I don't like it on Main Street. I've had that conversation with you. Right now, we're leaning towards putting it behind the building, so you won't have to go on the street at all. So we're trying to address that as well. There will be parking, again, it's not free parking across the street. The borough, at their expense, paved the lot, and I believe there's, how many spots? 9? 9 spots there. So I know it maybe
Okay,
seems like we
so-
didn't do a lot.
so, well, I mean, I don't doubt that there were discussions,
Sure.
but, in your sessions, but we don't know about those necessarily.
Because a lot of them are in, unfortunately, they're enclosed because they're
Absolutely.
contractual and so on.
Right. I also am wondering if you're making plans beyond the 5 years in light of the fact that the Glassboro schools have closed their libraries and no longer have librarians. So here we are, a university town, which is supposed to be about learning, And we essentially have no accessible libraries for kids and people of all ages. It's unfortunate that, I feel like you guys value ball fields more than you value a library. And the unfortunate truth is, if you close a ball field, there'll be people with signs and protesting. You close a library, people are just gonna go to another branch. But, you know, even that's not enough either, because you can go to Pittman or Hagen or whatever, but you're not allowed to participate in their programs because you're not a resident. And so it's a real loss, and it's a real shame that it's a university town. It's all about learning. And I mean, we might as well be living in Texas, where they're closing down libraries and turning them into discipline rooms, you know? It's just a shame, and I hope that you'll take the next 5 years to maybe rethink what a library can be. We don't even have a community center in this town. You have a rental hall that is called a community center, but it's not open for the community. You rent it and have a bridal shower there. It's not the same thing. And I just really hope that you'll consider the residents of all ages and what they need. We need a community learning place, not the traditional library. And, you know, I hope in the next 4 years that some plans are made, you know, in light of that. I feel like everybody's looking back to what they remember from the 1960s, what a library was, and that's not what it is anymore. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mindy Smith. I live at 220 Foxborough Drive in Union Creek in Glassboro. And I did speak at the last meeting, and I felt like you're listening, but again, it's not really mattering. I came again one more time, and I thought, I spoke off the cuff, I wasn't prepared, I needed to ask questions. And right now, what I just heard you say is, oh, we said it at these meetings. Well, look how many people are at these meetings. That's not announcing it to the public. We don't get the information that way. Are there over 20,000 people in Glassboro? How many people are you getting the information to when you say we're doing it at these meetings? It's not good enough. You can put it information in tax bills, water bills, something that gets to us. There should be more clarity online. There's just not. You can say it's there, it's not. When I look up today, where is the Glassboro Library? It still says the old location. Nobody's even updating that. They don't even know how to find the library, and having to pay parking is ridiculous. Towns need libraries. I also am an educator, I'm a math teacher, but I still think libraries are super important. And I wanna know, instead of you just listening, why don't you tell us what path we can take as residents? How many doors do I have to knock on? What path is there towards you spending, whatever it takes for us to have a real library? For me to get word out to the people, I will do it. And I will go to the schools, and I will talk to my neighbors and talk to my friends and pass it around. I don't think the people know. And I think the libraries are important, and I wanna know what it would take for you to believe that the residents believe that as well.
Me as mayor and council, for as long as I've been involved, have always supported and felt and did everything we could to keep a library in Glassboro. And,
Clearly not.
well, the library's still in Glassboro, man.
It's not the same. If people have to pay for parking, do you really think that's the same? Do you really think it's going to get used as much?
The library parking, in my understanding, is gonna be free.
It's gonna continue to be free. It's gonna be specifically for the library. Now, again, I'm not gonna tell you it's the greatest location, but we've paved the lot right across the street. Again, at our expense, paved it, put 9 spots in there just for the library.
And so what would it take for you to realize that the residents do want the library?
We
a
want
bigger,
a library as well, ma'am. That's what we've been trying to convey to everybody that's been in support of the library for the last 10+ years that have come to mayor and council petitioning to upgrade the library, make the library better. We've encouraged and always have been in support of that. And while we still we've been looking, and like Mr. Melandro said, we entertained the intermediate school. That fell through. We entertained another, We've entertained all kinds of things, and we've never stopped looking. And fortunately, the county stepped in and offered up a facility. Because as we all know, the current library, the condition of the current library, physical condition of the current library is not good.
I understand.
And
that.
eventually, it would have to be closed.
So
And if we had to
why
close
is there
that,
not a plan?
we've been trying to find a plan, Miss Mindy. We have. And we continue to look for a plan, even though we have this current location that we're talking about now. We still have a plan. Not one of us up here has ever said that we were content with what we have. We've never said that. We are grateful for the county for providing us something so we didn't have to take another alternate path, which would possibly have been maybe closing the library, at least temporarily, until we found a place. Because the physical condition of the library is what it is. We have never have been opposed to a library leaving Glassboro, and we've been very vocal about that since day one. And we continue to be that way. We
So
do.
is there anything that you need from the residents to believe that we need a bigger, better library?
We
than what
believe
there
you,
is now?
and we're looking, but right now it's space, it's building, it's money. And if we, like Mr. Melandro alluded to, we have 22,000 residents that we have to answer to. And if spending 19 million, whatever that millions of dollar number is on a library, when we may need something else that's more pressing to keeping the borough going, how do you sell a multi-million-dollar library when you cut off your nose, figuratively speaking, to spite your face?
I can tell
That's
you
what
managed
we're-
to do it in Cherry Hill, because that's where I grew up, and I was walking distance from the Cherry Hill Library, and when it was really old and needing repairs, they tore the whole thing down, built something 2-3 times the size. It's gorgeous, the residents make use of it, and people in Cherry Hill have a lot more wealth and
How did the Hagen do it? How does the Hagen,
Yeah.
in Washington Township?
right. But how come everybody can seem to manage but Glassboro?
I can't speak for any other municipality, but I'm telling you that we've always supported it, we'll continue to support it, we'll continue to try, we continue to try to do things better.
But Rowan continues to take over. Rowan got the intermediate school. Like,
That's your opinion, but that's incorrect. Rowan's not taking over anything but whatever Rowan is doing.
This is.
so
I
there's
mean,
nothing that you need from the residents to understand that this is important to our community.
just continue to believe in us. If you don't believe in us, start believing in us. That's all I can tell you, really. And I don't mean to be curt or crass about it, but truly, from my heart to you, trust us. We want to do good by you. That's our job.
I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no others on ordinance 23-32, I make a motion to close the public portion and adopt this ordinance as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cossabone?
Yes.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Motion carries. Excuse me. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 28th, 2023, December 12th, 2023, as well as the closed executive session of November 28th, 2023, and December 12th, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Karen, can we go over communications, please?
Yes, Mayor, I have one communication this evening. It's a letter of resignation from Isha Strasser of the Glassboro Board of Health.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. So move to committee reports and begin with Council President Miller.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd just like to say I really don't have anything to report from Park and Rec, but I'd just like to thank all of our borough heads, all of our borough employees, police department, fire department, and our residents for all of the support that you give Glassboro. throughout the trying times that we may have, whether we're in good times or bad times. We know that we can always rely on you for your support. We thank you, wish you continued safety and blessings into the new year. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilman Casabo.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I want to thank Councilman Tony Fiola and Councilman Joe D'Alessandro for all the years of dedication and service to the borough of Glassboro. You both brought much to the table, and it will be very hard to fill your shoes. However, there is a time when it's a time to say when. And also, however, regarding Councilman D'Alessandro, he did not get that opportunity. And I want to thank everybody, all the employees, all the department heads for all their excellent work in 2023. I want to thank the Glassboro Police Department and the Glassboro Fire Department for their outstanding work. And I just want to wish everybody a happy and safe New Year. That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, George.
Councilman Fiola.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I am in receipt of the financial reports that are sent monthly to me from our CFO, Karen Passione, for the month of November 2023. And I would like to thank our CFO for the wonderful job that she's done and the whole finance department for the year 2023. I don't know where we'd be without her, though, so thank you, Karen. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Halter.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mayor, thank
Good
you.
evening.
Just want to echo what Councilman Casabo and everybody said so far. Thank you to all the time and effort from Councilman Gilman and D'Alessandro. Appreciate all of your mentorship and learning from you over the years that I've been involved with the council here. I appreciate all your time here. Just have to see you go. As far as the borough employees, I can't say enough about what they do on a day-to-day basis, from our people inside this building to our public works and of course police and fire. And the police are facing new crimes and new situations every single day of the year anymore. Our fire department is growing faster and faster, and probably have seen their highest call volume maybe ever. Does that sound right, Chief? Almost 2,000 calls this year. For one small town, there's a lot of calls for service. So again, thank you to all those folks out there that make the borough run day in and day out, and thank you for the public for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. The last council meeting, among the residents that spoke, there was a woman from the Camelot development that questioned the lighting on her street. Would put on record that we are currently investigating that street, and we will have an assessment and an update shortly. And that's it I have for unfinished business. And Karen, can you take us through new business, please?
Yes, Mayor. I have a request for approval for New Jersey State Firemen's Association membership application for James J. Rubino.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. This time I'll ask for the engineer's report, please, Mark.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. At this time, I'll again turn the meeting over to our borough solicitor.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. Under our consent agenda, and this being our closeout meeting, we will move forward with approval of resolutions 358 through resolution 367 by motion as outlined on the agenda. If so moved by council, roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Casabo?
Yes.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting up to the public.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address mayor and council.
Seeing no one, I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The public portion is now closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Move that all duly authorized bills be paid.
Second to all duly authorized bills.
Okay, I have a motion and a second that all duly authorized bills be paid. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Any closing comments from our administrator?
I would just like to thank Councilman Fiola, Councilman D'Alessandro for all their years of service. I remember a long time ago when I was first starting, they were both very helpful. Their contributions to this borough are endless. Endless. They both brought their own special expertise. Both of them were not afraid to speak their mind. It's so hard sometimes sitting up here because really the only people who come to meetings are the people. It's very hard to tell people no when there's another side to something. And Councilman Fiola and D'Alessandro, I think, always did the right thing. They stuck to their beliefs, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Thank
So,
you.
that's all I have.
Thank you. I would like to first wish everybody a happy and healthy holidays. I'm going to save my comments for Councilman Fiola and Councilman D'Alessandro for our next meeting. But to recognize yet again my administration, my council, CFO, our professionals, staff of the borough. I'm the luckiest mayor around, that's what I'll say. It's a great team, it's a great family. Thank you all for everything. Continued success for the borough. We'll continue to move forward. And before I ask for a motion for adjournment, I believe Councilman Fiola would like to say a few words.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Very briefly, I'd just like to say so long. Tried my hardest and given it my heart and soul. And I love this group, and I hope you continue to give it your heart and soul also. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank
You're going to be
Thank you
really
very much,
missed.
Tony. We love you too.
Mayor, can I say one more thing?
You may.
I forgot to give credit to this gentleman sitting to my left here.
How
He's
could
did an outstanding job. What's that? He's did an outstanding job with the COVID, with everything. And I also like to thank our assistant, Clark Pierpont.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything, guys.
Yes, yes, thank you very much. Very nice.
I already thanked the chief and all sides, he did something.
And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Safe and happy New Year. Same to you, Ronnie. Take care. Thanks for coming out.
Have a happy New Year. Have a safe.
Take care, gang. Happy New Year to you.
Hung in there, man. Hung in there.
Call me anytime.
What's it? Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Tim, for another great year.
Yep, as well. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr.
No.
D'Alessandro, for another great year.
I'll see you
Thank
pretty
you
soon.
very much.